I love how this says, it's showtime. Oh, hello, everyone. It's showtime. Just taking a moment here to make sure everything's working. Oh, actually, yeah. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Make Shift Happen with Tammy Lee. Yeah. Boy, girls, boy, howdy. Has shift been happening around here? Welcome. For those of you that are new to me, hello, I'm Tammy Lee. I am so excited to join you today. Yes, and every Wednesday right here. For those of you that are new to me, hello, welcome. Welcome all of you. I'm Tammy Lee. I'm a make shift happener. I'm a magical shift maker and wayshower, helping to guide and discuss different things that help wake us up to who we really are deep within us on all levels, allowing those fragmented soul pieces to come back home to us, to love ourselves no matter what we find within us, no, and to quit judging who we are in every aspect of what we uncover about ourselves, to love on ourselves to such a degree that fragmented soul pieces that have fragmented off from us throughout different lifetimes, throughout different streams, throughout even in our akasha, our soul's journey, that flittered away from us. They're waiting. Some don't even know it's okay to come back home to you, to me. And by gathering every week on Wednesday, it's one of the ways that as you come into this circle, into this magical and sacredness of being together to share and open up to new possibilities, because as a cosmic bridge, I help to facilitate a connection to that inner vast landscape, a connection to these different fragmented soul pieces throughout these different streams of timelines and lifetimes of where we've been, and to help bring things back home to us. Those fragmented soul pieces, bring them back through sometimes special ways to where they get all cleaned up before they actually integrate within us. Something that I teach others how to do, and to reconnect in profound ways to our sovereign, sacred self. Because when we are sovereign, we determine within us the ways of where we walk in life. We're no longer dependent on something outside of us. We're no longer dependent on something outside of us. Because you are so concrete, you are so solid within here. You're so much within your harmonic flow and your soul songs within you that when somebody else joins you in life, comes along in life, they're either here to maybe accelerate more growth, add into more joy, and you'll know if the people are right for you. And it's no longer are we making excuses for how people are. So, because it's true, not everybody is right for us, no matter how much we love them, no matter how much we care for them, because it's time to quit being caretakers. We can walk with people in life that doesn't, but we are not to caretake for them. Now, if you're a child, if it's a child, that's different. But there comes a time, even when our children grow, we require to quit caretaking so these children can grow up and learn to be in their sovereign self. We must quit caretaking. And this is a simple example. And you ask yourself, am I caretaking here? Because when we caretake too much, we actually create that other person as being a prisoner within themselves. What's that term? We when we caretake too much, we enable others, and we got to quit enabling others to the point to where they're not growing in their own confidence, where they're always dependent upon you. I see too many moms do this. It is time that you mamas, please, I implore you to really look at how you are with your children. Are you a teacher or are you an enabler? Are you a teacher? Mamas, are you a teacher or are you an enabler with your children? Grandmothers, same for you. Are you enabling your grandchildren or are you teaching them? Grandparents have a little, see, I'm not like that with my grandchildren. They're case in point. Family dinner, Sunday night. Chocolate chip cookies for dessert, fresh made. But you got to finish your food on your plate. You got to finish your food on your plate in order to have one. That's the rule. So, granddaughter starts to put her plate away, and I'm busy over here, and she goes to get a cookie, and Papa says, did you finish your supper on your plate? She has this, and I'm like, out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, whoa, caught my attention. I'm like, bam, called her out right there in front. No, do not lie. You did not finish your plate. I saw your plate. Did not finish your food. You do not get a cookie. There's no cuteness. There's no we have to that is a teaching moment right there and then with her. Do not fib. You know the rules. And this might, to some of you, like, oh gosh, but she's my grandkid. Oh gosh. Well, we'll make an exception. No exceptions. Ladies, mamas, grandmas, no exceptions. But something like that. Right there in that moment, because I would have taught all the other grandkids. And then my children would have said, well, God, you would have never gave it in with us. And they're right. But they would have taught all the other grandkids that were here, what, oh, I don't need to finish my food on my plate. She let so-and-so have one. Well, no. Darlings, we are here to be teachers. Too many mamas enable their children. I tell you, that's one thing that we never had to worry about with my mom. But I will give this, I commend my mother. She was a teacher. She taught us at an early age how to take care of ourselves with food, how to cook or create something to make something when we were in grade school. I did the same thing with my kids. When I have one boy and 4 girls, raising them, I wanted to know that my girls could take care of themselves. I even started teaching them how to do their own laundry at the age like 12, 13. Mamas, that is part of what we are here to do. We are here to be teachers. We're here to be teachers. So, hello, Joanne. Thank you so much for joining. Go ahead and type your name in the text chat or say hello. Type your name in the text. Just go ahead and say hello. Join us in this conversation. So right now, right here, mamas, I want you to just take a deep breath. Grandmas, aunties, take a deep breath and take that breath down into your heart. And this is not about making ourselves wrong for where we've been, what we may have done, what we still do sometimes, and we catch ourselves. It's about allowing ourselves to forgive ourselves. Forgive ourselves. We may not have known what was right for our children at certain points in time in our lives, especially being young mothers or having others be, or us having young mothers. So, or us actually, I was having this conversation. So this week, okay, so for those of you that don't know, I grew up with 2 sisters, and I say it like that because my dad has I have another set of siblings that my dad had later in life, and those are my half siblings. So my 2 sisters, when I say it like that, those are the 2 girls that I grew up with, the 2 sisters. Well, I'm the middle amazing child. I say it like that now because I used to say the middle deprived child. So I was creating my own reality by saying that. Well, I'm the middle amazing child, and I truly am. My older sister, who was a straight A student, photographic memory, exceptional with numbers. If she would have went to college, she probably would be one of the top CPAs in the nation. I really feel that. And I'm 59, she's 61, and for the last 2 years, she has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia. And she does have that forgetfulness. She knows I'm her sister, but she doesn't always know my name. And my little sister, Karen, who used to live in Texas, and now she lives closer, just as of this summer. And she is, so she's a year younger than me. She has a severe case of rheumatoid. She's been diagnosed with a severe case of rheumatoid arthritis. Mine Probably the most daunting physical is my weight. I've had a lifetime of challenges with weight in this lifetime. I'm still working on unraveling that. I am still working on unraveling that. But I share this with you because I truly believe this, women. When we do our deep inner work, when we do any kind of work on ourselves, because I'm the only one in my family that does this. I love my two sisters. I used to have my my older sister used to say, because I started doing my work, like really deep 20 plus years ago. And I would actually go to um, retreats like in the mountains, or learn from indigenous people, or I would seek these different things out because I knew there was a knowing within me that drove me, and I could not say no to it. And yes, I would go in debt. And then somehow, some way, something would come along and help me pay for this. And even if it took me 5 years to pay off a credit card, because back in, wow, 2003, yeah, follow 2003, my first time of spending a major amount of money, major. And I'm at this conference, and the guy speaking, T.R. Becker, had this, he called it quantum leap. And it was a 3-year long of just incredible programs. And I had my credit card, and I'm literally shaking like this, handing over my credit card, because I knew with everything, like my soul, my spirit, like everything within me knew I was supposed to take that course. $10,000. I didn't have a job. I was a stay-at-home mom. Okay, I didn't have a 9-to-5 job. I had a side business that I was working. And I didn't call my husband for permission. I knew I'd have to try to explain it. And I cried because I was scared. I was scared. I was scared of, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm doing this. Why am I handing over this credit card? I knew I had to do it. I knew I had to, like something in me, like, go for it, Tammy. That was the most pivotal moment in my life. I truly think, I know that I know those different experiences back then is what catapulted me. And I didn't know this then until now. That was a starting full on. It was like this burst went on inside of me. Now I've come to know a better understanding of energy work, energy medicine, in all the years that followed up after that. It was like a celebration was going on within me because I said yes to me. I said yes to me for the first time in my life in a big, huge way. So there are going to be times. So I want you to think about this. This is a really good question. Am I enabling myself, or am I open to being a teacher for myself? Am I open to having somebody else come into my life to help me, to show me the way to open up more to myself? Because as we do this inner work, I've had some major continually unravelings, major breakthroughs. A lot of you know, or have heard of Jesus. Wow, I really feel him with us right now. He came here to be a great teacher. Now, I believe that some of his teachings were misconstrued, and over the years, that some of them don't hold, that there's like layers of truth within them. Wow, I don't know why we're going this way, but there's a compelling here. Because you're being asked to be a teacher in your own way, just as Jesus was in his own way. He came here to teach, not enable. He came here to tell you, because a lot of people put Jesus on a pedestal. Oh, wow. Seriously? He came here to teach you, not save you. He came here to teach you how to, if you want to use the word, save yourself. And what's one of the ways we do that? By doing our inner work. You see, here's one of the things that people get so accustomed to, and me too, darlings. Me too. And what I'm saying can be shaking some foundations, and I know that because I truly believe Jesus never died on the cross. Not everything that I've done, and I've been over there, and the different things I have found and I've seen. And yes, Jesus and Mary Magdalene having children. The first time I heard that, because I grew up Baptist and then became Catholic, and the first time I heard that, I was dumbfounded. And then I was angry that I had been lied to this whole time. Wow, right? Wow. So let me explain to you. Okay, I really feel Jesus here so strongly right now. So I'm just going to go with this. Something I learned when I was over in France, in southern France, where it's believed and actually proven that Mary Magdalene, when she left Egypt, she went up to southern France, and there's a cave over there that is believed that she lived there for over 30 years until she chose to leave this earth. Now, if you've ever gone, if you ever visit this area, if you ever want to, I know the right perfect person that can take you, that can be your guide. Okay, let me say that. You'll know it. You'll feel it. There's a knowing within you. But I will also add, doing your internal energy work, that you heal different parts within you, opens you up to a bigger knowing. Opens you up to a bigger knowing. Okay? Now, one of our guides over there in southern France, when she explained why, and she even wrote a book called The White Lie. The White Lie. And she did it with a pen name because her life was threatened more than once by different people because she was bringing forth some truth. Just like doctors that bring forth truth. And over the last 20 years, holistic doctors have been mysteriously died because they brought forth truth on how to heal yourself. That's just like as an example. So, Mary Magdalene visiting her cave. This is bringing up a lot of emotion. There's truth that has been hidden from us in order to keep us small, in order for to keep us from finding our magic, from finding our truth, from finding who and discovering your most magnificence, your most highest radiance, your truly your magic. And as I've discovered through the years, and I know how to discern, and I know how to fill in, and there is a time, and let me know this, is there times when you hear something and it just, like there's a resonation within you, like, oh, fuck, man, that was truth. You know that's truth. And over here is all this lifetime. I'm 59, and there's so much that has been like delivered that is, and I've always known this from a little girl. I always knew this, that I'm not being told the truth. I'm not being told the truth. God wouldn't hate me like that. Why is there a hell? There's no hell. No, somebody's lying to me. I always knew this. Okay. So when I'm over in France, this was only three short years ago. And our guide explains to us why she knows. And she's done so much research for over 25 years. This is how she explained it to us. Back in those days, okay, let me also explain, like Mary Magdalene. There's a lot of Marys. You put like Magdalene is the first name. Tammy is the first name. Carol's the first name. Joanne's the first name. Well, when you follow a certain sect, there was like, they would put Mary in front of your name, like Mary Tammy, Mary Carol, Mary Joanne, Mary Magdalene. Okay? Really, I have no idea why I'm saying this to all you, but I've just got to go with this. Because there is something here, there's beings here right now that is imploring me to just keep going. And I feel like I'm walking through fear with you all right now, honestly. So I'm walking through some flames to share with you what's coming through me to share. So there's a thought that Mary Magdalene was actually Jesus's teacher. That she was the one that was supposed to be the, in quotes, Savior, when they went to go get baptized by John the Baptist, that it wasn't that Mary Magdalene was with Jesus. And when John looked up from the waters and said, whatever he said, I can't remember the exact phrase, and people say, well, he was talking to Jesus. Well, what if really he was talking to Mary Magdalene? Because women, ladies, sisters, at one time, long, long ago, it was women. I don't want to say ruled the earth. What's a different word for rule? Okay, help me out here. We knew, because we are so connected on our spiritual planes with Mama Earth, we knew how to be, and we were adorned, and we were not adored. Well, yes, adorning is one of those ways. Thank you for that. But we were also adored, and we had men that supported us until one day things changed. We won't even get into that right now. Wow. Okay. So this guide of ours, she explains how, yes, we had the authority because we were looked at women as the authority to show people, to teach people how to be in their lives. And the men, they saw this and they took care. They did what they could in order for our greatest gifts to keep showing up and coming through and guiding others and guiding others and guiding others. I truly believe that Mary Magdalene was Jesus' teacher, which also became his wife. And together they did have children. And so let's just say, if Jesus was on the cross, if back in those days, and this is how it was explained to me, back in those days, it's the Sabbath. At dusk, everything stops. People come down off the cross. Okay, now remember the story where the sword's put into the side of Jesus and out comes water and blood? I was amazed with our guide. She's also a kind of scientific in her research. And she said, the only way you have blood within the water is your heart is still pumping. Your heart's still pumping. I'm like, oh, wow. Now that's a little bit different than what we're told, right? So as she shared with us the story of the possibilities, and she continued that, because remember, they use magnificent herbs and all kinds of things for healing. So it's the Sabbath, that whole area. Like, okay. So yes, whoever was on the cross was tortured and bled, but the heart's still beating. Okay. They take off this body. They take it to a healing area, a healing cave. They had things like back then. Healing cave that's already got the oils. Those of you that know essential oils, they have the frankincense, they have the myrrh, they have the healing oils. They had to cut his hair because it's so full of blood. He's unrecognizable. It takes him a long time to heal. Now, this is the story this woman shared with us. And she shared even more, like how it made sense in that time frame of how he was still alive when he was taken off the cross. Now, if we really knew that, how much the story in the what they call the Bible, that would be false, right? Jesus came here to teach us. Not enable us to only look to him. He wants you to look within yourself because you too have so many gifts within you. But because of these stories that have been told, it has kept people from finding their magic. It has kept people from finding their gifts because it has enabled people to look outside. Look outside of themselves instead of inside themselves. And he wants you to know that. He came here to be a teacher, not an enabler. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So just take a deep breath with that. Just take a deep breath. When our guide, when she told us this, of how she believes, like all her research has shown this. And she even risked her life to write a book. Yes, she used a pen name, but people have found out who she is, and has had like death threats against her because of bringing out this kind of truth, this information. It's called the white lie. Oh wow. I'm really surprised how much emotion is coming through. Just really wants you to know that he did not come to enable you. He came here to teach you. As Mary Magdalene taught him. And Mary Magdalene came here to teach you also. So let's go. So everybody just take a deep breath. Take all that emotion into your heart. And allow your heart, your magnificent, magnificent heart, help to assimilate all that emotion or that wonder of like, okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's see who's made. So Joanne says, yes, from babyhood, we can begin to support children to become sovereign instead of dependent, fearful, or guilty. It is amazing what children can do and feel excited about when we support them to explore who they are. We simply need to provide clear and consistent boundaries held with good humor that match their willingness and ability to be responsible. It takes self-awareness, self-acceptance. So listen, it takes self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-love to do this. And so it is a lifelong journey. Thank you, Joanne, for that. It's how many of us, me included, girls, me included, that self-acceptance. I think that is one of the, because when we do something we think is wrong, how many of us beat ourselves up, right? And having that self-acceptance, and you have that part of you that's within you that looks at that other part of you that you think is bad or did something wrong, and just love that other aspect of you, which allows her to come home, that she knows that she's loved. So she's no longer cast out. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many aspects of ourselves, so many fragmented aspects of ourselves that are just, they're waiting to come back home. Joanne continues to say, saying yes to taking the leap is like following the fool's journey in tarot. Oh, that's good, Joanne. Let me repeat that. Saying yes to taking the leap is like following the fool's journey in a tarot deck. There's a tarot card called Fool's Journey. And it always proves to have been right, the right thing to have done. You're welcome. She says, thank you for your story, Tammy. Jesus said, this is still Joanne, Jesus said, and these things you will do and more. He came here. I like how you said that, Joanne. Open your mind to this. He came here to show us the way to discovering and exploring our multidimensional selves. And that has been hidden from us, because that is how we create our own sovereign self. If we're all sovereign, we don't need the government to tell us things, to dictate to us how to live. He came here to teach us. And by the authorities back then putting Jesus above Mary Magdalene, pushed her back into the shadows, where she is as great as a teacher. I remember growing up, and I never really heard of Mary Magdalene, except for how she was described in the Bible as a whore. And see, that's how the authorities back then didn't want you to know of her great healing abilities, of her great teachings, of her great magic, because she was here to show and teach all of us women how to bring that forth within us. I'm still discovering things about that. Thank you, Carol. She says, this all makes sense. No flames with me, Tammy. This all makes sense coming from me. Women, we are the Wayshowers. Yeah, sometimes it just makes me fucking pissed at how much I've been lied to, of how long the suffering has gone on, the internal suffering. And the continual work to unwind that, the internal suffering because of the lies that have been perpetrated and told to us. So I have to deal with that rage. That's part of the work, ladies, is allowing that rage to come up and being able to facilitate the bringing up of that rage. The bringing up of the rage. You know, when I was growing up, I was like all about okay. Well, I grew up Baptist, right? You had to be saved, and there's hell, and I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified of hell. That I would go to hell. That I was so bad. That there was a part of me that was so bad, despicable. Now, how many children walk around with that? That they're despicable, that there's a layer in there of being despicable and so bad that nothing they do or say will ever get them to heaven. That was me growing up. So I would go against my own knowing. Sometimes thinking, well, this person of authority must know better. So I would follow whatever they said. I was so scared that I was, people, there's a thing called being saved, especially if you're in the Baptist church, come walk the aisle up to me and oh, like thump you on the forehead and girl, you're saved. I did that 3 different times in my grade school years because I was terrified of going to hell. And I would like, okay, now I'm saved. Oh, well, I had a bad thought. Oh, well, I must not be saved because I had a bad thought. Oh, well, I'm still a sinner, 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 sinner. Oh, fuck that shit. Yes, that's strong because that held me captive. Held me captive. I know that now at the age of 59. I did not know it then. I even carried that into my adulthood, even in my 30s. Even in my 30s, I had something pop in me in my early 30s, and I had this sweatshirt that had Tweety and Sylvester on it, and it said "Born to be Bad." And when I bought it, I'm like, because there's a song, right? Born to be bad. Born to be wild. But I think there is something also born to be bad. And um it was just like it's Sylvester and Tweety, and I bought it, and then one day I looked in my closet, something popped like, maybe I really am bad. Maybe I'm just evil, pretending to be good. Like it did some shit with my head. So much so, I went to the local priest who was my counselor, and he was really good because now I'm Catholic, right? Well, if I knew then what I know about now about Catholic religion, I would have never, ever, ever raised my children up in that religion. Anyway, not right or wrong, good or bad, Tammy. It's all is forgiven to myself. And he was shocked. He was shocked that I would think such a thing about myself. And the look on his face was like, why would you ever think that, Tammy? Well, I don't know. Think I still was carrying this like guilt or shame or all that crap that is just like piled on us as kids. I remember a little girl went to school with my kids, and as they were going through first communion, she was in the same class as one of my girls, Shanna. Yes, it was Shanna's class. Shanna's my third child. And I remember this little girl not being able to go through first communion, and she would cry because she was not baptized. And they teach this. If you're not baptized, where do you go? oh, when you die, you go off to this la la land because you're not baptized. Like, what the fuck, man? Teaching these kids this stuff? Wow. I'm just like, no, that's why I I know I'm here to be. I know I'm a wayshower. I like that term never was back when, but I have people like to this day, oh my gosh, Tammy, you're such a wayshower. I'm like, okay. But I know now that I am that. This like high level wayshower because and one of the things what drives me to keep going is I want to cut down the time frame for people. I want to I don't want it to wait 20 years for you. It's been 20 years to get me to where I am today. We're going to cut that in quarters and more. And Carol, you've had that experience like, damn, girl. Like a session with Tammy and like, boom, we've gone through this and this and this and lifetimes of and boom. I never had that starting, back then. Never had people that could take me from point A to another point A. Boom. They're not A to B to C to D to get back around. No, we'd like take care of it. And we're phew. There's a lot of disinformation. There's a lot of helping ourselves to unravel all that stuff, to help to clear it, to help us heal on levels that we do not even have a concept of them being within us. I've had these experience myself personally, even this week, where so I've always had this for like, and it's really been apparent as I look over the last 20 years, thinking I'm supposed to show up a certain way, right? And every time I conform into these ways of how I'm to show up, it doesn't feel right. But I keep going there because I don't know this other part yet. Or I have kind of a knowing, but no, it's not like the mainstream. And I know I'm not mainstream, but I still like, I don't know, because it's an unknown territory. Over here is unknown territory. Here is, okay, well, all these business coaches are like this. And okay, step one, step two. And I mean, I've had some good ones. And yes, they've helped me to develop certain things in certain ways. But it's never this. And I know I've made a difference, and I know this, and I know that. And it's like, but there's something missing. And with the deep work I did this past week, like over the last 7 days, like, oh my gosh, well, let's just say over the last year, but got me up to this point. Today's Wednesday, got me up to this point on Monday. No, yesterday. It was just, holy cow, that was just yesterday. Where a part of me, I found out where some of my gifts lie. It's in that knowing and following that knowing. And I knew this, like, oh, wow. Because I did a 2.5 day course. And I love this lady. I love how she teaches. And I was gonna, and Carol, I even like sent you, okay, here it is. I sent you a message. When I sent you that message like a couple weeks ago when we were talking, I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm thinking about, creating another course and bringing it out. And it's like, as soon as I said that, I'm like, ugh, we gotta pay attention to our body. I went, ugh. Like, oh, that's not right for me. That is not what I am to do. Do I know what I'm to do? Not exactly. Following this uncharted territory. So, Carol, thank you for that conversation. Following uncharted territory for me, following my knowing. I knew I was supposed to have a retreat in July. I knew that. Did I know how to plant? No. But I just followed footsteps. It was astonishing. Astonishing. You have that within you too. To follow your knowing. To get out of what you think you have to do. And go within. Breathe deep within that heart space. And ladies, open up to this, even if you don't know, even if, and I know I've said this before, but even if you don't understand, like me walking, just walking outside, drumming. Oh, do I have to preset myself? Do I have to have a certain intention? Do I have to? It's like, oh gosh, my body just, and I'm just feeling called. Just go do that, Tammy. Just go walk. Just go be. And it will come to you. I share this with you that maybe this will also open you up to different aspects of yourself that are asking you, that are calling on you to maybe look at things a little different, to maybe open up to a different reality, a different way of doing or being. Are you open to open yourself up to a different way of doing or being? And even if it's unknown territory, even if it's like, I've never been there, never done that, don't know how to do it, take a deep breath and let that be okay. And this is where our trust, faith as little as a mustard seed comes in. You will be shown the way. You will be shown the way. And sometimes it just takes enough faith to believe in that. I am here for you. I am here for you. I got your back. Let's keep this conversation going on inside our Facebook group. I believe in you so much. I believe in you. And there's other beings believe in you too. And your soul believes in you. And your spirit believes in you. And your essence believes in you. And Jesus believes in you. And Mary Magdalene believes in you. And so does all these magical beings around you. I call them my entourage, these multidimensional beings that are here right now supporting us. We believe in you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me today. If you need to get a hold of me, just send me a private Facebook message. Tag me in something in our Facebook group, or you can send me an email at hello@theemeraldcompass.com. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here today. Much love.